Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about expecting things for free. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, Frederick, how do you feel about the demand, the word was demand, that software should be free? How do you, it seems to me like most people don't know how much energy and effort and money it takes to build software. So the short answer here is I kind of feel like there is no real way to take this back at this point. I don't think that there is anyone anywhere who would expect anything to change anytime soon regarding that software should be free. Let me explain why. The reason why I'm not surprised that this happens is because as far as my limited understanding of other humans go, I have seen one thing, and that is that both in other people and in myself. And the thing I've seen is that a human will always do the thing that seems the simplest and most beneficial for them and people they care about. Now that's probably not a big mind blower for you, but just hear me out. What I'm trying to say here is that I feel as if it's fairly natural to say that a person who can get something that is useful for free will favor getting it for free. If the thing that I want doesn't require me to pay any money or like lose resources that is vital for my survival, then it's a very primal thing to want to be able to get the best deal possible. And usually free is the best deal. In some cases, the free option is so bad or there's so much incentive to pay for something that you're going to pay for something. But on average, if you hold up two plates of food and one is free and one is very pricey, you're gonna pick the cheap. Unless you can literally just wipe yourself with money, you're going to go with the free option. And software, unfortunately, a long time ago went down a path where a few select companies realized that they can create a sustainable business model not by actually charging people for things, but rather to create a situation where they own all of the market. And rather not the market, but I don't want to say the market because it's not really completely accurate, but if they could just position themselves between the consumers and the vendors, they would own the market. That's what I mean. And Google, as an example, is a company that did exactly this thing, because one of the most powerful resources, that is the most undervalued resource that we have, is people. And the reason why people is an undervalued resource is because we traditionally have always thought of the open market as, if you're a vendor and you own, I don't know, all the gold or all the clothes or all the food and so forth, then you are in the power position. And yes, this is true. If you have a monopoly on a scarce resource and everybody's looking to buy that thing, then yes, you are the dominant player. Now the problem is that you're not the only player. There's many people around, which means that we have competitions. Now, if your company is supposed to stay afloat, you need the customers. And that changes the conversation, because now it's not just about who has the best product or who has the scarcest resource. It's about who has the customers. And Google, my friend, has the customers. They have them all. If you don't exist on the Google search engine, for most people you don't exist as a company or as a concept. You don't exist. That is an enormous power position. And what's beautiful about that is that once you're in that position, you don't really have to charge the users. And that's a genius move, because if you give people something for free and they start depending on that thing, and that's the key thing here. I mean, sure, the best thing is if you can charge them some money so that they will buy into your thing and then still have them depend on your thing. But what's even better is that if you can just make sure that they never leave you. If you own the users, if you have them all, then you can always and that's kind of the way it works these days. At least at scale, when you can monetize all of these users in a very efficient way. At small scale, this is horrible. It's absolutely horrible, and that's probably what this user is kind of referring to. At small scale, to figure out ways to monetize your application when you can't get people to pay for it because they don't want to. At small scale, your data, or like all the stuff that the bigger companies are using to monetize all those users, you can't really do that as well. There are exceptions to this rule, and that is you don't go for quantity data, you go for quality data, but that's also very tricky. So this is a genius move on the company's side, and the problem with this genius move is that this worked. It worked so well that now their high-class super products that have been developed with money that came from somewhere else, because there's no such thing as a free lunch, well, this has been going on for years, and I always find it hilarious when there's some other new journalist writing in a blog post or in some newspaper that, oh, they're stealing our data, they don't care about privacy, and I go, well, fucking duh. What? Are you serious? Are you still, do you believe, how do you think they make their cash? How do you, why do you think that people invest in Spotify, Facebook, Google? Why do you think that they're just giving away cash like the investors? Of course not. There is an agenda here, guys. And the potential is in the fact that they have all the users. They are a dependency into most people's lives. They are connected to pretty much everybody. And as I said, that's the most important resource we have. Data is the most valuable resource today. It's past gold, if I'm not mistaken. And that is for that exact reason, because the customers and knowing what the customer wants is more important these days than selling the best product. Because if you can understand the customer, you can get higher conversion rates. If you can get the customers to buy your thing, even if it's a crap thing, you are making money. Making money is correlated to the fact that you have customers. And if you own all the customers and you can connect yourself to all the customers, I mean, this is what the ad companies dream of doing. If you are the biggest ad pushers in the world, which Google and Facebook and these companies are, then that is a really powerful position. The problem is that it also creates a situation where everybody expects, because you may or may not be aware of the fact that you're being exploited in this fashion. So now you start expecting everything for free. And we humans, as the stupid animals we are, and this one especially, we start believing that, oh, yeah, this is normal. I should expect everything for free. Why should I pay for something when there's so many free options out there? And now this is part of our culture. It's basically part of the expectation. The fact that you don't know how much time goes into writing and building all these applications, it's beside the point. When was the last time you reflected over the fact that that old shitty car that you have that barely runs, well, it took many people to build a factory and put all those parts together and then design the whole thing. Even if it's a shitty car today, there was a time when that was bleeding edge technology. You never reflect about that. You don't appreciate that. The old Game Boys, like the old game consoles, most kids today think that like this thing is broken if they're using something like that. When I was growing up, that was like the coolest thing that ever existed. Guys, humans are bad at evaluating the complexity and the value of something. We are really shitty at that. And on a side note, that's a large part as to why the open market works so weirdly, where some things are extremely expensive, even though they're not practical in any fashion, and some things we value as dirt, even though it sustains our entire existence. So, what I want you to take away from this is that the thing that I feel about the fact that people expect everything for free is I feel that this is completely natural. Because if you don't know what it takes to build something, then you're gonna measure it based on no information whatsoever. If you look at how ruthlessly some people treat movies and other forms of art, it's a very good example, because if you have, at least from my experience, the experience to know what it takes to make something that is crap, quote unquote, you will look at it in a very different light. If you become a software developer, let's say that you're a game player, you love playing computer games. The second I promise you, the second that you realize how much work it takes to build a computer game yourself, you will start to appreciate all those crappy games that you flamed on the comment sections, because it takes a lot of time to build this. But this is normal. You don't know any better. So of course, if somebody hands you a free lunch, or at least what you think is a free lunch, you're going to be conditioned to that, oh, this is something that I can expect. And we keep on doing that because there are some companies that actually have figured out how to make money from free stuff, that now you expect everything for free because most of the stuff is free, so why shouldn't everything be free? And at the end of the day, you just don't know the fact that you are paying for it. Everybody's paying for it. It's just that it's not coming directly out of your pocket. It's much more subtle than that. But I promise you, you are paying for it. Have a great day.